En draug, oftest omtalt i bestemt form Draugen, er et overnaturlig vesen som forekommer i sagn langs kysten av Norge. Draugen var opprinnelig en død person, en dauing, enten han bodde i haugen eller dro ut for å hjemsøke det levende.
Hej och välkommen till ett nytt avsnitt av Barnen har TV. Så en YouTube-show för dig att koppla av till en stund. Inte behöva tänka på allting som har med barnen att göra. Gummistövlar och sånt som borde vara vinterstövlar, men som vintern som varit kanske varit mest gummistövlar. Eller behöver tänka på att din jacka behöver tvättas för att din älskling vill få en kram när du kommer till förskolan, och det är mysigt. Men din älskling har ju badat i en lerpöl också, och du vill se representabel ut. Du vet, det är för dig den här serien är. Och det här är avsnitt 3 i genomspelningen utav Draugen. Varmt välkommen. Har du inte sett de tidigare avsnitten, hoppa tillbaka och se dem i spellistan på kanalen. Christian Hedlund heter jag. Det är mitt på dagen här, och jag borde inte tycka att det här är läskigt, men det har släppt lite, för förra avsnittet var inte jätteläskigt, men jag hoppas vi fortsätter i den andan. Det vore väldigt trevligt att slippa obehag. Men jag menar, jag kanske inte ska förvänta mig så mycket av en man som försöker bygga ihop sin egna syster i dockform. Eller? Jag vet inte. Eller? Vad är det som knarrar? Det här har inte jag kollat. Jo, det här är ju nere vid stranden. Där vi satt. Kom det någon här utanför nu? I mitt kontor, eller var det i spelet eller? Jag måste kolla, vänta. Annars är det obehagligt. Hallå? Nej, det är jag som hör i hyne. Så, sorry. Jag är tillbaka. Jag är alldeles för harig för sånt här. F stod det, va?
Where are you?
Upstairs. Jag stod, du har gått upp och vad skönt att du är på övervåningen i alla fall, för att...
Eddie? Is that you?
Men jag ropade ju precis.
Lissy?
I'm upstairs.
Jag har redan varit här en gång. Det var vrålobehagligt. Fick jag läsa i den här sist? Jag tror inte det, va? Nu är det. Read. Oh, wow! Okej, det var så mycket. August 3rd, 1923. This morning I had lemon juice in hot water with no sugar instead of tea. I also had half an apple and dry toast. I've been gaining weight lately. I read about this diet in the paper. It's apparently very popular in London. But I'm dreadfully hungry, and I crave fried eggs and sausages. Det här var innan YouTube Kids, när man skrev sin dagbok och berättade vad man åt. För det var allt som hände den dagen. Det hände ingenting, för sen är det August 4th, 1923. We received an odd letter yesterday addressed to Johan. It's from an American gentleman, Mr. Edward Harden of Hanover, Massachusetts. The letter was well written and very polite. Mr. Harden received our information from the Ålesund police when he requested a contact in Gravik. I do wonder why they gave him Johan's name and not Frederick's. Perhaps because our dear Margaret is no longer with us, and I am better prepared to respond in English than Frederick. Mr. Harden inquired about his sister, Elizabeth Harden, who's traveling on her own. Apparently she's a journalist. Imagine that, crossing the Atlantic Ocean to write about Norway. It sounds wonderful. The letter said Elizabeth telegraphed her brother from Ålesund to inform him that she planned to visit Gravik. Why'd she want to come here, to this dreary old place? I have no idea. There is nothing here worth writing about anymore. His sister has not arrived yet. If she had, I would have tried her out with some questions about America, being a journalist and traveling the world on her own. She sounds so interesting. I hope she does come, even though she will surely be bored out of her mind. I'll write Mr. Harden today. Johan is not comfortable writing letters, especially in English. He agrees that we should invite Mr. Harden to stay here if he decides to come. After all, there are no guest houses in Gravik, and our spare room is rarely used. Also, I have to admit, having a visitor from America sounds terribly exciting. August 5th, 1923. This morning, I had a boiled egg and buttered toast. After Johan told me I was being silly and that I do need to lose weight, seeing as we're not in London and no one cares. And I do not need to lose weight anyway. Jag tyckte att han framstod som, jag läste fel och upplevde Johan som ett ass, men han verkar ju snäll i alla fall. No one cares. Nej. Lev. Okej, så efter det försöket att ge dig någon form av inlevelse så bläddrar vi. Och det här är ju hon som skriver då. Okej. Det är så mycket att läsa. Vilken tur, du slipper läsa. Jag läser. Jag har inte läst det här förut så jag ber om ursäkt när det blir knas. I wrote Mr. Harden to invite him to stay... Inget datum? Nej. I wrote Mr. Harden to invite him to... Det är kanske från igår. Stay at the house if he decides to come. I am terribly excited. I do worry for his sister. I wonder where she could be. August 9th, 1923. There was an argument in the shop earlier today. Frederick was yelling at poor Astrid, claiming her goats had been grazing on his land. I wanted to speak up, but knew I'd only make him angrier. August 10th, 1923. Johan went across the fjord this morning to purchase some necessities, including new fabrics, and to pick up the post. The letters have been piling up in the store. I sometimes worry the world has completely forgotten about us. Oj, nu har det gått 7 dagar. August 17th, 1923. I finished another dress today. This one is for myself. There are no customers anymore. No one here needs another dress, and it's been ages since we visited the city. I hardly know anyone there, and who would want their dresses made in Gravik when they can have one tailored in Ålesund? Ålesund, ska det väl vara. I feel lonely today. I miss my dear Margaret so much, after all these years. August 20th, 1923. I think Ruth is hiding something from me. She's been awfully secretive. She goes off on her own even more than usual, and her clothes are filthy. I don't mind her playing and exploring, of course. I always did regret Margaret and I not being allowed to run free when we were little. Ruth says she's just looking for flowers and pretty rocks. I shouldn't worry so much. Så det här är då ena tvillingsystern, eller hur? Och den andra är tvillingen. Har hon dött? Det kommer inte jag ihåg, det var så länge sedan jag spelade. Men så var det nog. Och Ruth är dottern som sen... nu slog det mig. Flowers and pretty rocks. Det där. August 21st, 1923. Simon stopped by today with a gift for Ruth. A whole bar of chocolate. He's a sweet boy, but Frederick would be furious if he knew. August 22nd, 1923. I asked Ruth if she plays up by Frederick's farm or near the old mine. She promised she doesn't. I never ever had reason not to trust her. Ever? I never had reason not to trust her, but I still feel she's hiding something from me. Det blev ju en ljudbok på engelska där. Hoppas det verkar ta slut här. Oj då, nu händer det grejer. Det såg jag i texten. I looked at her drawings while she was out. She's got such an imagination. Om hon har de där monster. September 5th, 1923. We received another letter from Mr. Harden. He'll be here in October as planned. I look forward to having someone else to speak with, if only for a few days. Not that Gowan isn't good company, but we have little to converse about outside of our daily routines. There's been no sign of Mr. Harden's sister yet. If she left Ålesund weeks ago, where could she be? She may well have decided to stop along the way. We heard nothing, but we so rarely speak with anyone outside Gråvik these days. Sorry. I hope she's all right. I would hate for Mr. Harden to come all this way to no avail. Ruth is still being secretive. I know she's hiding something. One of these days, I will follow her. September 9th, 1923. No church service again today. The vicar hasn't been back since the memorial service in July. Johan believes he won't be back, and that he has given up on Gråvik, like everyone else. I think I'm coming down with a cold. September 15th, 1923, så från 9 till 15. Someone damaged our boat during the night. That's the third one this month. Johan suspects Frederick, of course. I fear something is bubbling to the surface again after all these years. I'm not at all feeling well and spent most of yesterday and today in bed. Ruth was sweet and brought me potato soup and tea with honey and milk. September 18th, 1923, så 3 dagar senare. She has left us. Our dearest Ruth is gone. I cannot believe it was Simon's doing. He too is now gone, and with him all hope Gråvik had left in it. Okej, så nog för att jag har... lämnat Facebook, men I know it's complicated when I see it. Så, men vadå, så systern kom aldrig hit? Det är ju också märkligt. Vi sätter oss ner och kontemplerar det här en stund. Jag skulle kunna lyssna på det här soundtracket dagarna i ända. Jag tror att det finns på typ Spotify och Apple Music. Så det ska jag lyssna på dagarna i ända. Vad ritade vi då? Shall we go? Shall we move on? För vi har redan stått och spelat musik här, eller hur? Det behöver vi inte göra igen. Nej, jag vill ha svar. Eller svar. Ja, men det beror på vad jag kommer få.
This is her room. Are you paying attention? Ruth. Can you imagine? One moment you're living a perfectly happy life, and then nothing. Darkness. Forever and ever.
Som du inte känner
Maybe
av.
there's something here that can tell us what happened to her.
This is a waste of my time.
We might be the only ones left to tell her story, Edward.
You're just being melodramatic. I'll help you look. There's still no sign of the Fretlands.
Maybe they left town after Ruth died.
What's the point of this? I should be looking for Betty.
I hate you sometimes.
Wow, thank you.
Draugen.
Hey, the undead monster from those folk tales you read.
What an odd book for a child to have.
I don't know. Children love scary stories. This looks interesting. Read some of it to me, please.
In Norwegian folklore, the appearance of Draugen, the reanimated corpse of a drowned mariner, heralds death. Draugen haunts the Black Seas in a shattered boat. The beast has a man's body and wears a sou'wester, but instead of a head, there is tangled seaweed, and the revenant's chilling cry freezes mortal blood to ice. Draugen has the power to enter the dreams of the living. If you wake from such a dream, you have been spared, though someone close to you... That's enough of that. It's nonsense, of course. Not something a child should be reading.
Do you think Draugen took our boat? Maybe he's out there, on the fjord, waiting for nightfall so he can return to shore.
No.
And... Your soul lacks poetry, Edward Charles Harden. I pity you.
Jag måste ändå säga att det var lite vassare på norska, va? Va inte? Ja, just det.
Ruth was an artist.
This is very primitive.
Have you ever met a child, Edward? She wasn't Monet, she was 8. That must be Ruth and Simon's fathers.
Perhaps. They weren't on the best of terms.
They look like they want to kill each other.
To a child, maybe it looked worse than it was.
Children are more insightful than you give them credit for, Teddy Bear.
Men ja, det är ju ingen jätteglad bild. Ja, det är det ju inte. Oj, jag trycker på fel knapp hela tiden, sorry. Så. Men ja, hon har rätt, jag håller med Lizzie. Det är ju, barn känner av.
She found something.
Where's that supposed to be?
A cave. Or the...
Mine. It could be. But what did she find?
Something important enough to draw.
Alltså det är ju väldigt vackert. De här färgerna.
She made her bed that morning. Before she...
Or her parents did. It doesn't matter. It tells us nothing.
Why are you like this today? Betty's not the only person in the world that matters.
She matters the most to me.
Ain't that the truth?
What am I looking for?
Anything out of the ordinary. Something that could explain what happened to Ruth.
This is real life, not a whodunit by Agatha Christie. There won't be a convenient series of clues leading to a tidy conclusion.
Says you. Ruth never finished this. What does that spell? F-O-R-B.
For Banelson. The curse.
Who's that figure supposed to be? It's creepy. It looks a bit like the Draugen in her book.
A figment of her imagination. But the box she drew... It looks like this box under her desk.
Really? Let me see. Pull it out.
Jag håller nästan andan.
What is this?
I believe this might qualify as actual treasure.
Is that Norwegian money?
Sort of, but ancient. Viking coins.
Are they valuable?
Not in terms of monetary value, but historically. Well, they belong in a museum.
Looks like Ruth had her own private museum.
Why would a child have these artifacts?
She must have enjoyed collecting and playing with them.
These are much too precious to play with. She should have given these to an adult.
She's She was a child, Edward. To her, they were just shiny toys. Wait! The pin! On the doll!
This is where it came from, her collection.
But where did she find these treasures?
If we're to believe her drawing, perhaps the mine. She may have found a gravesite. Wherever she found them, she wanted to keep them hidden.
You think someone found out?
These items wouldn't necessarily be worth much, except to a historian or archaeologist.
What if this is how... I mean, if someone learned she'd been collecting treasures, they might be willing to do terrible things.
Huh. Jag tänker också...
This is a waste of time.
Edward, you horrid man! Sorry. Please stay. I can't stand the thought of Ruth tossed aside because you're too busy to care.
Jag har gått i det här spelet och varit rädd för att Draugen ska dyka upp. Men Draugen är en mytisk varelse. Och så grundad som det här spelet är i någon slags verklighet ändå. Så undrar jag om det... nu kanske jag vet inte. Men kan det vara så att spökena är inne i Edward? Och Draugen är fortfarande... att vi luras att tro att barnets fantasi är verklighet. Jag undrar om Draugen kommer att dyka upp. Jag tror inte det nu. Men jag börjar ju starkt tvivla på att Edward är vid sina sinnesfulla bruk. Så som han behandlar den här dockan. Ja, nej, det var bara en lätt teori. Lätt teori. Och det här är en teckning vi har missat också.
This must be the village church. That's Ruth and her family on one side of the aisle. Simon and his father on the other.
A community divided.
There's a story here. The treasure box, the drawings.
The overactive mind of an imaginative child.
Well, she didn't imagine the Viking artifacts. You shouldn't be so dismissive. The drawings could be her way of dealing with traumatic events.
This is what happens when I read you the principles of psychology. You get notions.
You say that like it's a bad thing. Ruth was troubled. The village was troubled, and... Is that a bell?
The church bell. Someone's here. Maybe... Betty.
Why would Betty ring the church bell?
Perhaps she's in trouble. I need to get to the church right now.
Wait, isn't it more likely to be the person you saw the other night? We should be careful.
I told you, I'm not sure that was anything. Come on.
Go ahead. I'll catch up with you before you get there. I need a minute to think about all of this.
Förstår du vad jag menar? Hans fantasi skenar ganska snabbt. Men vi gör som han säger. Där borta är kyrkan. Och den klockan klämtar. Alltså kolla den här vyn. Det här är guld! Gold, I tell ya! Förlåt, jag nördade loss, men jag tycker att det är så vackert. Okej, så kyrkan. Kan jag gå den här vägen, va?
Where are you, Lissy?
I'm up at the barn.
Just det. Som att jag hade glömt det. Just det. Kommer jag inte över här? Är det en get? Ja, det var det. Jag upptäckte en till knapp att gå med. Det var ju märkligt. Nej, men förstår vad jag menar. Jag undrar om inte Draugen är... att spelet försöker att leka med den här myten. Och jag menar, människor på den här tiden... man försöker få oss att känna som de här personerna skulle ha känt 1923. Man har inte så mycket svar och vetenskap så som vi har idag. Så att man misstänker att det kan nog vara Draugen. Och att man leker med det i spelet. Vi tar en liten paus och funderar över det. Fint. Okej, spring nu. Fast han blir andfådd. Vi får hitta en bänk om han börjar bli flämta och flåsa. Jag förstår vad jag menar. Att spelet försöker lura mig att det är någonting. För att det är så folk skulle ha känt. De här personerna, om de hade funnits på riktigt och det här hade varit verkligheten, så är det precis så de hade känt. Att det är någonting mystiskt här. Men det finns i slutändan kanske en naturlig förklaring. Men det är inte det första man... Det är inte den första ledtråden man rycker i, att det finns en naturlig förklaring. För det finns så mycket annat när våra hjärnor skenar iväg. Nu blåser det också. Ska vi se om hon hör mig om jag ropar.
Where are you, Lissy?
Det gjorde hon inte.
All these fresh
Va?
waves.
Fuck you, Lizzie. Jeez.
Maybe
No.
Betty,
I know.
but
You wouldn't understand. Elizabeth and I, we have a bond.
God, Edward, your obsession with her is really starting to grate.
No one's touched these since yesterday. Regardless of how they got past the boards, there's someone in there.
Who did this?
Someone who'd lost their faith.
Gone fishing?
God is not here.
Well, of course he isn't. You won't find God in a church. God is the wind in the trees, the grass between your toes, the brook that runs
That's
through.
nature, not God.
Can you peek through the boards? See anyone?
No,
Listen! The bell! They're still in there!
Hänger ett rep där.
Hello? I heard the bell.
This is giving me
I'm
the
here to help.
heebie-jeebies.
You and me both, sister.
These boards look flimsy enough to break.
Look at that. The Ethel becomes an Edward. I didn't think you had it in you, old fruit.
Be quiet. Betty? Are you here? Hello? This is Edward Harden. I'm looking for my sister,
Stop
Elizabeth.
shouting, Edward. We're alone. There are only ghosts here.
There are no ghosts.
I don't know about that.
Jag är... Vad går det här?
What's this rope for?
The bell.
This is the bell we heard ringing?
I don't see any other bells.
So you have to stand here and pull this rope to ring it.
Yes.
But there was no one here. You didn't see anyone, right?
No. No one.
Ghosts. I'm telling you, it's ghosts. So what happened to the hunchback of Grovik?
They must be here still. There's only the one exit.
Maybe it was the wind.
A church bell's too heavy. It can't have been the wind. I mean... I don't know. Maybe it was the wind. There's no one here.
Vänta, Hunchback och Gravik. Är Jocke Jennefors här? Ja.
I don't like that sound. Please stop.
Lissy, look. Betty's gloves. They are definitely Betty's.
Oh, for
She got
Pete's
these
sake.
in Boston before she left for New York. She bought them at Woolworth. I remember the day she... She's here.
Where? And why would she leave her clothes lying around? It doesn't make
Breadcrumbs.
sense.
She's sending me a message. She knew I'd recognize her gloves, her hat. She's left a trail for me to follow, like Ariadne's red thread.
We're not in a
Betty
labyrinth.
will have left more crumbs.
Betty, 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 you're turning into such a pill.
Undrar om det här är riktiga såna här dukar. Misstänker det.
What happened here?
The sign on the door. God is not here. Their faith was challenged, and it didn't survive.
Varför kan jag inte läsa på lappen?
That bell still bothers me.
Didn't you say it was the wind?
I guess it could have been the wind.
Once you eliminate the impossible, etc., etc. The final dinner.
The Last Supper. Who taught you about the New Testament?
I pick up on things. Most folks aren't heathens, like you. The final dinner.
The Last
Jaha,
Supper.
samma en gång till.
Who taught you about the New Testament?
I pick up on things. Most folks aren't heathens, like you. Isn't this a fire hazard?
They're not always lit. Each candle represents a single prayer.
That's a lot of prayers.
There were a lot of deaths. The church book, a record of births and deaths.
So we can find out what happened to the people in the village?
And Elizabeth. I mean, if she was dead...
Her name would be in the book.
Vandals. Tore it to pieces.
I don't think the missing pages left the church. Look. How many pages are missing?
I counted 4.
They're probably all still here. I know. Let's make it a competition. 1-0 to Team Me. I wanted you to find that one. I know what a rotten loser you are. I've never seen you read the Bible before.
I've read the Bible many times. It's an important historical document. For he is our peace, who hath made both one, and hath broken down the middle wall of partition between us.
Did you just translate that into Olden English?
I happen to know the verse by heart.
You still manage to surprise me sometimes.
Är det här Jesus?
Jesus looks sad.
What reason would Jesus have to be happy?
Good point.
Blasphemous.
Given that this is all fiction, blasphemy is a contradiction.
Heretic.
They considered this a sacred place. For them to destroy it. This was an act of desperation and anger.
What the
What are you doing? We're in a church.
Thought you didn't believe in God.
I do believe in civility.
Precis, respektera människors tro.
What's that?
The last sermon that was held here.
What does it say?
The vicar's handwriting is hard to decipher, and the language. He talks about the village being divided for 20 years. This sermon was held on the anniversary of the accident this past summer. He's asking the congregation to help heal old wounds, to forgive, move on. Something to the effect of, you sit in separate aisles in God's house.
Like Ruth's drawing. I told you, she was perceptive.
Tilgi varandra.
Edward?
Forgive each other. It addresses Johann and Frederick directly. But I wonder if they were even here.
Remember the wedding picture? They were close friends once. How could they allow their grudge to escalate until...
You call each other traitors, but the only thing you've betrayed are the bonds that unite us. It sounds like Grovik was split in two, between those who stood by Johann and those who supported Frederick.
Because of Ruth?
The sermon is from before that. No, this is all about the preceding 20 years of division and disagreements. Here's something else. Many of you believe Grovik was cursed 20 years ago. God has not cursed you. This curse is of your own making.
Ruth's drawing mentioned a curse. What do you think that means?
It means they believed they were cursed, and that they needed something or someone to blame for their misfortune.
found another one? Just one more page missing.
Och den låg inte här. Där var Jesus.
Found another one. You get it. It's right here.
Så du såg inte den innan?
Two for two. A tie. Good job, Teddy. Old
Stop,
bean.
Lissy. This is not a game. Betty's out there.
Of horse feathers. Stop being so gosh darn tedious, Edward. Bitty, bitty, bitty. Will you ever shut up about your precious Betty? Put those pages back in the book, and I'll stop trying to cheer you up.
Jag trodde det skulle bli ett minispel, men det blev det inte.
This book goes back years. It lists births and deaths. Here's the third Fretland brother. The one who died in the cave-in. Someone added the word for Banelson, probably quite recently.
What does that mean again?
Curse. That word is all over this book. Not just the men who died in the mine, but other deaths in the last 20 years.
Ruth's drawing and the sermon both mentioned a curse. What do you think it means?
I don't know. There were surprisingly few births.
Perhaps they blame that on the curse as well.
Förbannelsen, förbannelsen, förbannelsen. Oj!
Look here. Ruth Elsa Fretland. She was buried in the cemetery. And the next entry, Simon Fretland. Now this is interesting.
Simon is dead? Oh, that's dreadful.
He drowned the day after Ruth died. Probably no coincidence.
Drunkning står där.
See what's scribbled next to it?
Mord?
Murder.
Who killed him? Ruth's father? Or the mob that trashed the store?
It doesn't say. After the children, a half dozen deaths in a single week.
The curse.
It's listed as the cause for every single death.
Maybe there really was a curse.
Primitive superstition. But something changed after Ruth and Simon. It might explain why there's no one around.
Edward, if it killed everyone, how's that not a curse? What does that word say? Next to those names at the bottom.
Traitor.
Harald Lindevall gift. Förrädare och... Locke Berg. Bara så du vet, hon står där bredvid oss nu från ingenstans, så att bli inte rädd. För jag höll på att bli det.
Edward? What's wrong?
Final entry. There's no name. Alice, what if...
Oh, Edward, no.
Betty,
It doesn't mean she's...
she's not dead. She can't be. I know.
Teddy.
I need to see the grave for myself. It's not Betty. Betty's still alive.
Teddy? Where are you going? Don't leave me! Edward!
You better not be here, Betty. I'll never forgive you.
Det är ju där borta, jag såg ju det.
This one.
Han är ju inte...
Marked.
What are you doing? Have you gone completely mad? Edward, stop it!
Thank God. It's not her. It's not Betty. It's not her.
Oh, Edward. What have you done?
It's not Elizabeth. I was so afraid.
You're a monster.
But I had to be sure. If Betty...
To hell with your Betty! When did she ever shed a tear for you?
Don't talk about my baby sister
Or
like
what?
that.
Or what, Edward? What will you do? Ignore us? Banish us? You've spent your entire life chasing her.
Va?
When are you going to do something useful with what's left of it?
Quiet! Just leave me be.
Fine.
See? Alice,
Är Elise...
come back. Don't leave me alone. Please. Come back. I need you.
Oh shit, jag misstänkte det när hon började prata att... Alrighty. Hon har inte varit äkta överhuvudtaget. Jag vet inte. Det har aldrig slagit mig. Alice eller Lizzie, kan det vara hennes syster? Död sen nu, jag har ingen aning om vad jag ska tänka.
Lizzie? Where are you? Lizzie!
Där.
I was afraid you'd left me. Now listen to me. No! Lizzie. Hey. Lizzie, please listen to me. I didn't mean what I said.
Jag hinner inte trycka.
Everything's always about Betty. Betty.
I care about you both.
Until it really matters. Then it's obvious who matters more.
I thought she was dead.
I wish she was!
Don't.
You deserve to be alone.
Vad fan är det som händer? Jaså, ja.
Please, talk to me.
What's there to talk about?
You can't keep running away from me.
Jag kan inte.
You think you own me? That you control me? That you get to decide how I feel and what I do every minute of every day? That I'm your puppet, your little plaything? Well, fuck you, Edward Charles Harden!
Holy.
I never should have come here with you on this pointless chase!
Now, be reasonable.
Jag var inte beredd på den.
What are you doing?
No.
What I should have done years ago. Maybe now you'll learn to appreciate us.
Now listen to me. Please listen. Hear me out. Don't do this. You can't do this to me. I need you. I'm not whole without you. I can't lose you. I can't live without you. Don't, please, don't, no. What? No! Oh, Alice. What have you done? Please, be all right. Please, don't.
You make me sick, Edward. Your mother and father would be ashamed. Elizabeth would be ashamed. They did not think you deserved their love, so they abandoned you.
Don't.
Oh, my child. We are all that you have, and we love you. We are here. With us, you are never alone. Do not forget.
No, Never. I never forget. I am never alone.
En draug, oftest omtalt i bestemt form draugen, er et overnaturlig vesen som forekommer i sagn langs kysten av Norge. Draugen var opprinnelig en død person, en dauving, enten han bodde i haugen eller dro ut for å hjemsøke det levende.
Skitbra! Nu ska vi skita nu då på norsk.
Dålig norsk. Nej,